Hey, it has been really cold. Now I'm getting a snowstorm, so time to just, burrow in, kind of hibernate. How is everybody? I hope you're well. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. I hope you and your loved ones are well. We're going to be talking, we've been covering the Summer Wells case out of Hawkins County, Tennessee, as well as other cases. And I always am paying attention to the Jack and Lily Sullivan case, which is out of Nova Scotia, where on May 2nd of 2025, there was a report of 2 missing children. I say that because we don't really know when. I gotta get some lotion. The warmer I heat my house, the drier it gets. So welcome to 1111 True Crime. Mama D in the house with you. We are live. I thank you, my live audience, as well as my absolutely amazing replay crew. You guys all matter so much. Thank you for staying with these missing kids too and supporting our channel. So some new information. Well, how do I put it? It's not new information, but yet it is. So there have been those that have been looking at closer pictures of Malaya from May 3rd. So she gave, the children's mother is Malaya Marie Brooks, and she was at her partner's property with his mother, and the partner's name is Daniel Martell, and his mother is Janie McKenzie, and they all live in rural Nova Scotia, Lansdowne area. And I've got this beautiful little profiler book that is so wonderful that I have here. You can get one in my shop at 1111dex.com. Check it out. We have a lot of wonderful, useful items in there. I bought this at first thinking it was going to be a really good journal, right? But look what I ended up doing with it. Write all my notes on the case, and it's great because I can click it open, move that to a different section, start fresh. Anyway, I have 6 pages of stuff. So in this case, we've all had these feelings as we've researched this case that something happened the night before the kids were reported missing. They were reported missing on a Friday, and they had not been to school Thursday. They had not been to school Wednesday. Wednesday was a teacher thing or something along that lines. Thursday, they just didn't go. Friday, the mother called them in at something around 6:18, 6:17, somewhere in there. Hi, Kim Howard. How are you? Linda Beatty, Trisha Galvin. Good to see you. Hi, Debbie Gazzardo, Jennyville, Carla. Good to see you all. Jennifer Swain, Jennyville. Good to see you all. Hey, Mac. You made it for a live. Yes, yes. So, in this whole thing, whatever took place on Thursday night, it has been swirling with rumors that it was a fight. Those are the words used. We've heard it from so many different places, that there was a fight Thursday night, and then the children were reported missing on the following day, on Friday, May 2nd. All right. What's really been frustrating in this case mostly is this underlying DV in the home kind of thing that we can't put our thumb on. CPS was allegedly involved because of the school, right? Reporting that, I think it was Jack, who is only, at the time was only 4, he would be 5 now, was coming to school with black eyes. We've heard this partner of Malaya, Daniel, talk about many black eyes, quote unquote. They had many black eyes. I raised very hyperactive children. Also was a special needs teacher for years and taught 3, 4, and 5-year-olds. to have children that consistently have many black eyes or bruises, no, that's not normal. Even with hyperactive children that throw toys, they don't always land in the eye. They land on the foot, they land on an arm, so forth. So there's been that underlying feeling that there's something way more than just missing kids. Not to mention that throughout every search that they do, they find evidence that appears to be planted. NRC and P are like, that stuff's not relevant to the case. It's relevant in the sense that if it's planted, because who's going to plant stuff in a missing kids case? But I often want to look at like what we know about the parents. So if there's this DV going on in the home, we have the mother and we have this stepfather who isn't. They never married. In the beginning, they tried to sell the narrative. Daniel did that he's a stepdad. Made him sound better, I guess. But no, he was just a boyfriend for a few years there. In this situation, CPS has also put a hold on him that he can't even see his older children from a previous marriage. That mother has just like, nope, you're not seeing the kids. And so I don't know what all's going on behind the scenes with the kids, but one of the things that Daniel himself came out and said was that his own children that are older told CPS that he did bad things to Lily and Jack. Right? His mother, Janie, the step-grandma, Janie, she's made comments that she can't see the baby Meadow, which is the child that the partner Daniel and the mother of Lily and Jack, Malaya, they share a little baby named Meadow. She can't even see Meadow, nor can she see the older kids that Daniel has or her other grandkids. So she's just out of all the children's lives. What in the world do you have to do to get blocked away from, like, you can't see any of the kids anymore? Right? But we could never, like, get into it and be like, what really happened here and get an answer. I've showed you pictures that it shows clearly Jack has a black eye. Daniel's talked about Jack having a black eye. He claimed Lily had a black eye before she went missing that she got from the day that they went to Patty's, which would have been Wednesday, because they weren't in school that day. That was teacher in service. And so she went missing with a black eye. And everything about Daniel just screams to me personally of like the sleeping with the enemy kind of energy. So let me get this in order here real quick about how we're going to break this down. I want to make sure we don't miss things. Plus you guys have got a lot of information too. And we're going to look at some actual photographs of Malaya that we're going to enhance as well, meaning we're going to get the lighting correct. So when I do my work on enhancing photos, what I do is I grab an item in the photograph that is a solid color, like black, like the tires of a car are black. So what you do is you repair the picture so that the tires are the color that you know. So there are some items in the picture that are a bright blue. And so that's how we enhance the picture till those items appear correct. And that gives us a visual of what appears on someone's skin and so forth. I'm also enlarging it and we're going to analyze it together today. So let me kind of work through some of these thoughts that I've got in my handy dandy little notebook. So how many times can a child have a black eye before it's just absolutely something's wrong here? That's a big thing. I had I was a special needs teacher at the time, and I had a little boy, we'll call him Travis. He was 3, and he would come in and he'd have a black eye. and I'd report it because I was a mandatory reporter. Plus, as a human being, we have a responsibility to protect children. And the parents would always come up with this bull story. Oh, and I love the story because you know it's false. The kid's looking at you like, sure, that's what happened. But, you know, the Tonka truck popped up and hit him in the eye. And that's what Daniel claims happened to Lily. And that can happen, that it can pop up and hit you. But how many times is that going to happen? Not a lot, right? So we've also seen bruising that's not in the face. And I'm going to go back over and show you some of the bruising. I'm going to say alleged bruising that I can see in a photograph on Lily. We're going to look very close, as I said, to the bruising on Malaya. But, you know, Daniel, he was the disciplinary. Everybody that knew Malaya, and from what I can see it's true, is that she's very meek and mild. Very calm, not that excitable. That her personality is very, very laid back. It's interesting also because not only does Belinda, the biological grandmother of the children on the real dad's side, but even on the other side of the ticket here with Darren O'Grady, or whatever his name is this week, they both individually, not even on the same train of thought, almost different trains of thought in this case, and both relatives of Malaya have stated that Malaya is laid back and didn't discipline the children. So, as things have progressed and time has gone, Daniel and Jamie have pulled off social media because they were getting so heavily attacked. You can't get ahead of this, Daniel. This is the truth. The truth is going to bite you in the ass if you're trying to hide it. If you're trying to run from the truth, it will catch you, and it will catch up, and it will slap you like hard right in the, it will be a throat punch of truth. And I say throat punch because I think there is some of this kind of behavior in the household. We know there was issues with the children that have been shared with us, that even little 6-year-old Lily was pulling her own hair out. That's a lot of signs of anxiety. It can be signs of abuse on children where they're nervous and they pull. Jack isn't even potty trained. He's still in pull-ups at 4. The bedwetting or the pull-ups can also be a sign of abuse. Can be. Now, Malaya, before the children go missing that month, finally gets her own set of wheels. She has her own vehicle. Just the week before the kids go missing, I believe it was like Wednesday, she actually gets a license plate for her car because Patty, her grandmother, where they were on Wednesday doing their laundry, getting some groceries and so forth, pays for it and gets her car licensed, and she's free to go. Now, I don't know if you've ever been in an abusive relationship, but Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie could be a good example for you if you haven't been in an abusive relationship. Now, I've been in a very abusive relationship. One of the things that the abuser likes to do is separate you as the victim away from any friends that have your back and any family, because those people are not under the aggressor's control. And they're going to give you advice to get the hell out of there. They're going to try and save you. So they don't want those people in there. And that is indeed very much part of what Malaya went through. Also, this control. We've heard from Malaya herself through a text that she sent to Sunny from It's a Crime and Shame that Daniel would hold her down forcefully and take her phone. That's another thing the abusers like to do. When you've had enough and you're going to call one of those people that no matter how long it's been since you've seen them, they got your back, whether it's good friends or family, that abuser don't want that interference. They don't want this to escalate. They've already done something or they're about to do something that they do not want to be held accountable for. And so they're going to restrain the communication for you to get outside interference in there, right? So, in a sense, the victim's trapped when they don't have their own vehicle, when they're a young mother, because they have children. How are they going to live on their own if they don't have a car? How are they going to get to a job? How are they going to take the children to the appointments and do the things that they need if they have no vehicle? So getting a vehicle is a big deal. It gives you literally the key to freedom. When our taxes came in my abusive relationship, where I was married to the man for 12 years, one of the most insanely abusive relationships I could ever explain, I used my tax money and I got a car, all my own. And oh my golly, this abuser threw such a freaking tantrum because I could leave him. I was free. I had my own car. I was ready to roll. Malaya just got her car. I consider that as a potential trigger for things to be explosive. That's my opinion from my own experience. But in Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie's case, if you're familiar with that case, she was labeled the aggressor. She was later, the same time frame that she's labeled the aggressor, it's just a few days later that she is taken out by manual strangulation by the victim, Brian Laundrie. It took long time to find her. YouTubers, I'm trying to remember. Does anybody remember what their name was? I don't remember. Buffoon. Something Buffoon. But here's the thing, you guys. I'm not giving Malaya an excuse. I'm making it as clear as we possibly can. I believe she is involved as much as Daniel and Janie. I believe she's completely involved. I'm not excusing her. What I'm saying is this may show evidence of what had happened the night before. If there had been a fight, a physicality, it's not just going to be a little and it's all over. It's going to be a struggle. Could the children have either been neglected because they were fighting and something happened that night because they weren't paying attention? And we know, well, I'll just say, in my humble opinion, Daniel was high as a kite out there, running around like a chicken with his head cut off ahead of the helicopters on the day of the search. So he probably had rugs the night before, too. If nobody's paying attention to the rugs because these people are fighting like cats and dogs, physically doing all this stuff, is it possible the kids got into something? Feel me? So he seemed so shocked when Malaya left with the baby. I get why we're shocked. But keep in mind, I'm going off of the hypothesis, right? The theory that Janie, Malaya, and Daniel have all covered something up as a pack. Like they've decided, rather than them get in trouble, they're going to cover this shit up. Now, in that, Why would Daniel be surprised if she left him if they had this knockdown, drag out fight? And did she get pissed and go to bed with the baby? And did he do something out of revenge on her to the children intentionally? He talks about all this planting over and over again. Oh, I hope they didn't plant my 2 shirts. Maybe that's planted, blah, 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 blah. Maybe you planted it all, Daniel. Maybe you did. Could they have sold the kids? I don't know. It's a possibility at this point because they are all not normal. What mother abandons? She didn't just leave. She abandoned the children within less than 48 hours of these children being reported missing. Malaya was having pain and sorrow and gone with the baby. Not just off the property, out of the county. She never came back. Right? In fact, she left the property as soon as her mom got there. Now, she went to the ambulance before she did all this. She was in the middle of the search and procedure and all this, and she headed to the ambulance. Why would you go to an ambulance? Well, let's see. Let's look at these pictures because they may be clues as to what went down on Thursday night that could lead us to understanding more about Lily and Jack. Okay? All right. Is there more to this story, you guys? Why did she go into the ambulance? Was she hurt in places that we don't even see? I find it like really strange, you know, that we haven't seen this before now. So I want to send a shout out to Charmaine and her channel for bringing this out. I happen to see it, and that's where I am. So we're going to get into the pictures here. It looks like she has a ripped ear. And she's got some bruising through here. Now when she gives her interview, her hair is sitting like this, right over the bruising. But there is a photograph that the journalist took, I believe it's the journalist, where Malaya, same day, is sitting on the steps. And her hair's back, and you can see this stuff, and it's not dirt. I can tell you that. I know bruising when I see it. I don't know who bruised her, but it's severe. Did Daniel lose his shit in trying to control Malaya and not wanting her to leave? Did he do something to the kids to keep her? That's what I'm wondering. She has a current restraining order on Daniel. You know how to get a restraining order? I had to get one. Now, it's different in every state, and that's a different country. But where I'm from, to get a restraining order, what I had to go through was I had to basically provide enough information that proved my life was at risk. I had to be able to say I did not feel safe, that I had fear of this person, that they would do something to harm me. So to me, there's a lot here. Let's get into this. We'll break it down a little bit further. All right, we have a good number of people here. Let me switch it to all messages. Let's get into this picture here on the steps. Nick UK, it seemed like revenge early on. Daniel seems, just in my humble opinion, like one of the most petty fuckers, and I'm sorry I swore, one of the most petty fluckers ever. Like, he seems like if you got in a fight with him, he'd be all like, blah, 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 blah. You know? I mean, look at the way Jamie behaves. Look at the way Daniel behaves. I can see in my mind where he could possibly have done something to try to keep her from leaving, thinking that if she couldn't find the kids, she would stay. I mean, wouldn't that be your thought? it'd be almost everybody else's thought, including mine, that if the children are missing, the mother would not leave the spot. She would just stay there. So that'd be a good way to keep your victim trapped, is to take away her cubs so that Mama Bear stays put and you have a chance to work this through with her. Linda Beatty says, mine was given in Wisconsin. I had police reports and an advocate. Exactly, me too. In Wisconsin. And you had the same bruises. Me too. Only mine was up here too. It's Canada. They're pretty slack on sentences. That's wild. What's in your opinion, Ash? You have to have proof in the state that I live in. Well, if what I'm seeing is bruises from Daniel in a fight before, she would have proof. She would have proof, and that could be why she got a restraining order. Kim Howard, I believe Daniel did something. When it comes to aggressive behavior, all right, let's do a poll real quick. Let's start a poll. Oh, let's just do a poll. Just do the 1 and 2 thing. Give me a 1 if you think out of the 2 that Daniel is the aggressor. Give me a 1, Daniel. Give me a 2 if you think Daniel's not the aggressor, but that Malaya is the aggressor. And give me a 3 if you think they both are aggressive. Give me a 4 if you think neither are aggressive. So a 1 for Daniel, aggressive. 2 for Malaya, aggressive. 3 if they both are. And 4 if nobody is. Just let me know. So we've got a 1. Hey, Jam Funk. I love you, darling. Hey, Carla, Passion Flower. Miriam, 1, 1, 1. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, Rad says. Look at all the 1s. We have 3. Liam says 3. They're both aggressors. Yeah, it's all 1s except for 1, 3. All right. Let's break this down. Let's go over to this screen over here. So this is the picture of Malaya sitting on the steps of the back porch of the trailer. Now, I want you to look back here. You can see a broom handle. I believe it's a broom. It's some kind of a handle here. See it back here? So that's a blue, and we'll be using that. I just see a few 3s, but I see almost all 1s other than 3 3s. Hey, Karmic Retribution. Hello, lovely. Hi, Sarah England. A 1. Yeah, I get what you're saying. No, Liam, don't apologize. I appreciate your opinion. Calissa girl, haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you, beautiful. All right. This is the photograph. And like I said, I wanted you to look back here. See this broom handle? All right. I made that blue, right? The blue that you would think it would be. And look at the difference between the pictures. Do you see? You see? And when I do, we're going to be working on the fly together here. We're going to look at this part of Malaya's neck. Give me a second. I'll fix it. Okay. Do you see this back here? Let's get our little drawing stick right here. Now, let's keep that together. We'll group it for now. Oh, it didn't stay. That looks like a handprint to me. Hey, Allison. Good to see you, beautiful. Let me get chat on. I haven't, I don't have chat on the screen. Hey, Natalie. Podcast queen, this case really bothers you. Those poor kids. I agree. All right. So not only is there this, right? This picture, which we're going to, I didn't want to go too overboard, but I want you to really look at this. So let me sharpen it up a little bit. We're going to darken the contrast. I want to look at it and see what kind of, you know, what we really got. Even if I try to go black and white, look at that. Even black and white, look how severe that is. And there's nothing to cast a shadow. As you can see, the shadow is on the inside of her cheek here because the light is coming from this direction. So the light is coming from this direction. Now, let me go back, shrink this up for a minute. I want you to also look at this area right here where it's really, really light. That can be a pressure bruise. A pressure bruise is where you're near the collarbone or any bone, and it literally leaves, like pushes the blood out of the area. And so you'll get mottling, it's called, which is the light areas where the pressure was being applied, that pushed the blood out of the way, and you can see the bruising then. So if we were to look at this, it literally is like this. That's big. I don't know if it's a mark on her face. Faces are a little bit harder. Yeah, it's not a new bruise, Jennifer, right? It's either from a few days prior, or it could even be, that could be the night before. It could be. I would expect the bruise to be that color by possibly second, third day. Just my humble opinion. Now, what's also interesting and concerning is that Malaya has blood in her ear and one of her earrings has been ripped. Could that also be part of the fight? You can see it. Whoops, let me get it off the marker. Or actually, I'll use the marker. You can see right in here, she's got blood caked up in her ear here. Yeah, you can see that very, very clear. There's definitely blood inside her ear here. Way up on the top of the ear too. Let me take that off. See it right here on the top of the ear. And this is all light right through here, right? Because the light is shining that way. But up here you can see it's not. That's like blood. Yeah. Dried blood. Yeah. Which, you know, this is extremely concerning. Look at her earrings. It's bloody. Dried blood, in your opinion. Agreed. There had to be a hell of a fight, y'all. Exactly, Ash Cash. Oh, wow. The top earring. Yeah, up in the top here. This whole area. It looks like her earring even got ripped. So when you team that up, I want you to look even closer to this picture. I believe that her shirt. Now watch this, you guys. This is something I want you to think about. So her shirt comes and it goes way down like this, right? That could be because somebody had you by the shirt and their hand around the back of you, right? So if the hand came up back here, let's say the person put their arm this way and then they come back with their hand through here. You know, this is the arm. And then they have their other hand right here to grab your shirt, let's say. I want you to look at this right here. Why is it not letting me draw? All right. Let's get a copy of that. Let's go on to this picture. We'll make this part on her neck small. Like I said, we're going to be working on the fly together today. What's this? That's severe bruising too, and I'm talking severe. Y'all feel me? Nosy Lou says she's a picture of abuse victim. I've studied child abuse. Where her bruises are is alarming. It's terrible to see that it's in the neckline. Exactly my point, Linda. Exactly my point. Let's get your chat pinned. I want you to read what Linda Beatty's saying. Linda Beatty says, imagine what the kids went through. Yeah. So you want to know, I find it interesting. I've showed you guys this before. This is an extremely, extremely serious question. When I look at this little picture of Lily, she's smiling. She's just a beautiful little girl, right? Down here on her thigh, way down here, look at this. Now her knee is right here. That's her knee, down here. So it's not her kneecap. Look at the bruising. It's like somebody forced her thigh open. You can see that modeling again of the bruise right here. You can see the actual bruising on this child in the inner thigh. For a child to have any bruising on the inner thigh is extremely concerning. But to have what appears to be a knee mark, right? So this is somebody possibly kneeling and forcing that thigh. That's alarming. Now, I'm not saying that happened. I'm saying that's what I see from my opinion. Thank you, Tammy. I saw that, sweetheart. I've already shared that. That her earring looks ripped. Yes. Kimberly Graves says, fight, rugs, problems, kids unattended, revenge, or accident. Remember, she ran, abused or not. She knew they were not coming back. Passion Flower says, I believe he beat them all up that night and the two little ones didn't make it. That's what I think too. Aw, thank you, Rach. Rach says, please don't forget to show your love, your love. How many likes we got, you guys? Make sure hit that like button. I appreciate it so very, very much. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't, because that way you know when we go live again. And I always love having a live audience, as well as my beautiful replay crew. Exactly, Carla. Very concerning. So, I mean, I'm just saying, that to me is the most concerning thing I can imagine, is on the inner thigh of a child to have a bruise that is the full length of their inner thigh. This looks like somebody kneeled. You know what I'm saying? If the child is, let's say, laying on their back on the ground, and the person is in front of them, could their knee have been to hold the child's thigh? I'm not going further than that. I'm just leaving it there. This is so concerning. And then, of course, we've got, Jack and his little eye. Let's clean this one up. So we've got blue on his book bag here. We have a darker navy blue here. So let's go ahead, make those blues the right color. We'll sharpen it up just a little bit. Doesn't need to be a little brighter, right? We'll bring the colors in. Y'all, I'm going to show you something I've never noticed before. I just noticed it. Look at this. Damn. Same mark Malaya has on her throat. right there on Jack. You can definitely see it's not a shadow. Look at his neck. It's the same damn mark. Does this not look like a fingerprint here and a fingerprint here? Look at this. Look at this. That is crazy. We already know his eye has absolutely been busted right there. Look at all that black. Wow. I can't even make it up. Look at this. Let's get the mothers and compare the same bruising. Oh my God, it's exactly the same bruising, guys. This is so scary. What in the... Oh, I'm creeped out. I could hyperventilate. I know that sounds crazy, but it's like I'm getting lightheaded. Holy shnikes, Batman. Okay, let's go back. Where's little Jack? Look! Matching bruise. Oh, not the same picture. Where is it? Hold on, you guys. I just got too overwhelmed. The same damn bruising on the mother as the child. Where's my little drawer? My little drawing. All right, look. Here's the bruising. 1 finger. 2 or whatever, right? We have the same exact bruising. Get out of freaking town. RCMP, get your head out of your ass. This man has had to go through all kinds of classes. These children were showing up to school either with black eyes or not showing up because they had black eyes. Come on. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that there is something very damn wrong when both the mother and the children are covered in bruising. And, I mean, this is horrific enough, right? To have handprint appear on your necks. But look at this thing, right? What was he doing, allegedly? What would an individual be doing with their knee, if you will, or foot? It just appears to be a knee because right here you've got the pressure point, right? Then you've got the bruising around where the blood pushes away, like I told you, which causes the mottling. I'm surprised he hasn't been arrested. Hey, Nina lovely. OMG is right. Cry Vicious says, I don't know why it took 7 months for the internet to see it. Not all abuse leaves marks. True. Allison's like, yep, that is horrendous. Jennifer says, it's like pressing the jugular to suffocate. That's what I think. You know what? At this point, I'm just going to lay it out there. I'm not going to be afraid to say it. Up until today, until I saw that Malaya and Jack have the same bruising, right through here, so it'd be like this, right? The person reaching their hand around the jugular, right? Mm-hmm. This is hands-on. This is hands-on. This is anger. This is control. This is somebody putting their hands constantly around the head and the neck. Flags, red flags, red flags, red flags. Where's the goat? Gabby Petito, Brian Laundrie. He's the actual aggressor. What did he do? Hands on her throat, manual strangulation. That's the way it works. Think about in the Summer Wells case. It's so weird because Rosemary Bly, the missing aunt to Summer, she got into a fight with her husband. She slapped him. She got the charges. Even though he put her in a headlock and did a lot of other things, she ended up as the aggressor, labeled as the aggressor. Oh, and then she went missing, and it's been since 2009, and nobody knows where the woman is. You see? See how they play this shit? But those kind of people have to put their hands on their person, because all they want to do is shut them up and control them and hold them and clutch onto them, and they put their hands around the throat parts and the mouth parts and in the eye and all this, right? If they had such a bad fight that Malaya was like, I'm going to bed. If Daniel stayed up and said he was going to clean the house, but the house wasn't clean. Can you imagine, just a theory here, and I said I wasn't going to hold back, hypothetically throwing spaghetti at the wall, could Daniel have just went in there and made the kids silent in their beds out of anger? Could he have gathered them and taken them off the property while she was sleeping, thinking it would trap her? Nikki UK says, time for a rest and bring Lily and Jack home. Like a villain while she and the kids slept, and then cleaned up the evidence, according to Rad. And then he took them away in the morning at 9 a.m. I think he took them away in the middle of the night. And Janie heard the kids being let off the property, possibly. I don't think they're alive. I've never, ever realized how bad that this is. I've never, to see it on the boy, the neck part, I never realized that it was down here. That is not from a truck popping up in Jack's face. This bruising on Lily is not from a truck popping up in her face. Let's get all this off here so you can just see it for what it truly is. You got two pictures here, this one and the original. I ain't making it up. Those are not shadows. Those are bruising, in my humble opinion. Same with Malaya. She's not dirty. Those are bruises. It was alleged, and I think it was Daphne Case Files that brought out a clip today, a screenshot. And I'm going to read it to you because I don't have, you can go see Daphne Case Files if you want to look at the actual clip. She shares it. I just grabbed it with my phone and I haven't transferred it. So this was in the beginning of the case. And this person alleges, but Danielle had been beating the mom and holding her hostage, raping her, drugging her, etc. So she wanted out. Danielle planted the clothes and the footprint. Now this is an actual DM, private DMs between someone and someone else. We don't know who. Take it with a grain of salt. This is very, very early in the case. Now I'm starting to believe it. Go over and if you want to see it, I can show you it that way. The person responds, OMG. Oh my God. She was so scared. So she was scared, it says. The person goes on to say, he hit the kids too, and sometimes went to school with bruises, and CPS was called. That's all true. That's crazy, says the responder. The person who has them, are they family? You see what I'm saying? Sleeping with the enemy. But now you got kids with him. That's just crazy to me. That's just wild. I believe that. Gene had to hear screams, crying, and fighting. CPS was going to come back. He was furious. And she has her car now. It was registered on Wednesday. She's free to go. She can get the fudge out of Dodge. She can take the kids and leave. Nothing can stop her, right? Unless those babies go missing. Did he threaten her? Was he like, you leave? You try and leave? Say goodbye to Lily and Jack. Did he threaten her and say, I'm asking, try and leave and say goodbye to Lily and Jack? Notice Meadow wasn't hurt because that's his baby, right? And did she just say, I'm going to bed with the baby, I'm not doing this tonight? And did he follow through with it? Has this been Daniel's show from day one? Exactly, Carla. Those children have failed tremendously. And you know, it was Daniel's latest girlfriend that broke up with him, or whatever that was, where we saw his text messages about, you know, how he's going to sneak into her room and possibly RAP her. And then we have these old messages about drugging Malaya so he could RAP her. You know what I'm saying? Teresa, no wonder she left and stayed quiet. When you're in an abusive relationship, when you flee and you stay gone and quiet and don't do anything in case he finds you. She has a restraining order? Mm-hmm. Mrs. Guy says, nailed it. He's the master manipulator. Yep, she got the car the week before. You guys. Passion flower. It is possible that she has spoke up, but not knowing where the kids are. Maybe they've been playing Daniel like a fiddle all along. However, I said I wasn't going to hold back today. The only reason that I feel Daniel has not been arrested and that this has not been taken to a criminal level, and this is my own humble opinion, is because Janie, the stepmother, the grandmother, the step-grandma, Daniel's mom, her family owns so much, hundreds and hundreds of acres in that county. They basically foot the county bill, kind of. They have a lot of money. They pay all these land taxes. And so therefore, they have a lot of pull. Yes, Daniel makes me sick too, Nina. They are still not found, Karmic. We have no idea where they are. Carla's like, Mama on point. Yeah, he's been a smear campaign from the start. Also, I want you to take note of this. In an aggressor and victim relationship, the aggressor, the abuser, very often manipulates other people's views of their victim to make others doubt the victim's sanity. She's crazy. Her mental health is bad. You can't trust what she says. These kind of things, they manipulate you into thinking that the other person you can't trust what they say. That way, if they do get the balls as a victim to speak up, nobody believes them anyway because they're discredited, right? And we know how Daniel likes to get ahead of things. So he even came at social media. Don't be hard on Malaya. You know, it could affect her mental health, and she might take it out on the baby. Pack your guilt bags, right? Yeah, he stalks and harasses with third party. Him that's calling her from fake numbers. Well, and, I mean, if we're talking about that the RCMP are not treating this as a criminal case, what the hell is Malaya supposed to do? And I'm not standing up for her. I'm saying, what if you are the mother, you finally get out of the abusive relationship, you don't know where your children are, and I'm not saying she wasn't part of the cover-up, okay? I'm going hypothetical. But what if the very police that you are supposed to be able to trust aren't doing jack shit for you? And let's just think about that question that the RCMP asked Malaya when her children were missing. do you, Malaya, feel safe? Why would law officials ask the mother who's standing right in front of you if they feel safe? Do you feel safe? Why? I'll bet you because, let's get back up here, RCMP was looking at all this nonsense, seeing some serious bruising. And let's not forget Daniel having that little scratch on his eye real deep. That has scarred since then. That's left a scar. Want to see how good of an actor Daniel is? Listen to him say this and how closely he has rehearsed and plays the game, and watch how he sneaks his eyes out to make sure the camera's catching all this fake crying.
Culver they could find. Yeah, just absolutely loved bugs, dinosaurs, anything like that. But
Ugh.
Lily loves girly things, but she also loved doing everything with Jack, bugs.
Look at that. Look at this. Watch. I'm just going to move it real slow. Look, he peeks up. Look at this. I'm going, look. He's like, are they watching me? Are they watching me? Oh, are they watching me?
Anything like that. But Lily loves girly things, but she also loved doing everything with Jack, bugs. They're like best friends, not just brother and sister. Jack just absolutely loves bugs, dinosaurs, anything like that.
Oh, a different interview and he still does the same thing. Same weird, like, look at him. Watch, he covers his eyes, but he isn't really crying. Peek, are you looking at me? Look at his reptilian eyes. Look at him. Are you looking at me? Are you watching this? Same thing. No tears. Just get all like that when you're in trouble, Daniel, so that everybody thinks, that you have nothing to do with it.
That. But
yeah, what a
Lily
little weasel cry this
loves
is.
girly things, but she also loved doing everything with Jack, bugs. They're like best friends, not just brother and sister. Jack just absolutely loves bugs, dinosaurs, anything like that. But Lily loves girly things, but she also loved doing everything with Jack, bugs. They're like best friends.
Broke Stacker, the only person to speak for those kids and show any emotion, and people bash him because they have nothing else to do. Disgusting. All right, where are you? Can you guys kick the person to the door? Because I'm not stupid. Daniel tried to remain in control of this case. Daniel tried to get ahead. Now, I'm going to tell you something. These children were not being cared for properly. Lily was pulling her own hair out, covered in bruises and black eyes all the time, according to Daniel. Jack, too. These kids were not even washed and put together, bed right. They didn't even have pull-ups changed. The parents are sleeping in the bed, and I'm supposed to feel so bad for Daniel? Kiss my ass. Y'all, go ahead and just kick him to the door. Yeah, his hands look bleached. That's a worry too, Passion. Did he get so mad that he finished it off while the kids were sleeping? Does he have any other bruises or scratches? I'm not sure. Children could have been asleep when they were finished. He's not crying at all, Ash. Exactly. Hi, Tracy. Good to see you. Jennifer says, I seriously started watching the Hobbit trilogy again last night. Y'all, Daniel's in the movie. He's the Hobbit. He's Gollum. Oh, my precious. Oh, my little precious, right? Sarah said, I have plenty else to do, but I speak truth. Idiot. Let's be nice. I can't be too nice, though. Yeah, he don't look like he washes either. Maybe. She told RCMP, but nothing else was ever said about it. I'm sure it was him. In my opinion, the old abandoned railway drain culverts need checked. I agree. Daniel has known, his whole family owns almost all that land, all the evidence from boot prints that don't have dog scent on them, to water bottles that don't have dog scent on them, to blankets in the tree tied up 6 foot up or whatever that don't have the no scent of the children detected by the dogs at all. We got a single boot print in the driveway, so the child just, jumped 20 feet, landed on 1 foot, and then jumped another 30, 40 feet to get out of the yard. It's all planted evidence, right? I think he looks like a turtle on the never-ending story, Liam. You're funny. He took them away on the ATV. In your opinion, neighbor that day on Facebook saw a man and young girl on an ATV matching dance that morning. Makes you wonder. Yes, amen, Carla. Janie has enabled Daniel all his life. Daniel is like a weasel to me. Mutt can do that. Mutt can. Yeah. That mark on his face, right? All right, my lovelies. That's what I have. I'm not going to be on here forever, but I wanted to share that with you. I don't know. I'm just like the mother and Jack. Look at this bruising on Jack. Do you see it? It comes up here, then it comes in, and then it's here. And I mean, look. Look how bad this is right through here. Then we go to Malaya's. There it is again. Here is Jack's. Same handprint, only bigger. I don't think they're doing it to themselves, and I sure the hell do not think that Lily did any of this. ATV, interesting, says Rad. Go to his favorite spot, like hunting, fishing party. Could be right, Passion Flower. He might be too lazy to do anything big, but I think he has enough knowledge of that land that they could be on his own land somewhere, his own family's land, and that hasn't been searched. We have hundreds of acres of land owned by that family. The kids could have been buried on any of those properties without a cross or anything. You know, it's possible that he removed the children while they were alive and took them out in the woods and ended it out there so that there would be no evidence. Just makes you wonder. This is just so wild. Not only does Malaya have the bruising, but so does Jack. Lily's bruising is even more concerning to me because I'm not going to beat around the bush. I said I'm not going to hold back tonight. Is it signs of SA on her? You feel me? Why else would she have such a severe bruising on the inner thigh of a 6-year-old? A little bully? I agree. Ash Cash says, I find it weird that Meadow wasn't gone. Thank God, in my opinion, because it's Daniel's baby. That's what I believe, too. I'm trying to get caught up in chat. Thank you, Carla. Says, great job. Thank you, lovely. That's what I think, too. I think Daniel is the devil. That's my opinion. I'm entitled to my opinion. That's right, Joyful. He is fake. That's what it feels like. RCMP needs to get their head out of their butt. This case just gets more shocking. If he was on meth, yes, it absolutely goes along with that drug. Well, and I bet you, I'll bet you $1 million he was flying high as the helicopters when he was staying ahead of them. Passion Flower, I thought SA all along. I know everybody got so mad at me in the beginning when I got that leaked information from that person, the source, that told me that on the search they had found a pair of young girls' bloody underwear. And nobody believes me. I think in the long run, you're going to be very shocked how bad this is. You are so welcome, Liam, and thank you so much for joining me. Thank you to my live crew. Thank you to my replay crew. All of you are amazing, and thank you for hyping me up. Hit the like, the sub. Now, you guys, we're going to jump over and on Crime Story Mama. And if you care to join me, you are very, very welcome. I love you guys to the moon and back. Pray for Lily and Jack Sullivan. We just need the children found. We need answers. In Jesus we pray this. Amen. Right? I will see you again very, very soon. Thank you so very much for choosing to spend your time with me. Oh, somebody's at my house. The dogs are going to go nuts. Time to go. Time to go. See you again soon. Bye, my